Now we are moving to the Q&A session, and maybe I would like to first address a question to Adi, if you are fine. Thank you again for your presentation. You talked very much about the need to customize the workflow and the experience for small business and micro business. My question to you is indeed in the context of payment instrument and payment facilities and services offered by the bank actually, are they fit for purpose for micro business and small business?
Well, I have to say at the moment, probably not. But we are not far off. I mean, what's interesting about micro business payment services is they're very much driven by consumer demand and consumer trends. That means they are moving very quickly. And I think, I've just come back from the UK where, to be honest, every single person who was selling anything, even the unfortunately, the homeless people in the street already had contactless terminals to get or anything. It was, to be honest, it was heartbreaking to see that, but it shows how quickly that contactless payment took over the UK specifically, and you can see that every single terminal out there was not actually provided by the traditional banks that used to power that kind of card acceptance industry. So I think there is potentially a risk of this running away from the banks and being more focused around other payment providers.
And things like request to pay. So Catalin and Nigel have discussed about request to pay and the mechanism whereby you can agree more specifically, more accurately on the selection of the payment instrument, the payment conditions, and so forth. Is it fit for purpose in the context of micro business? Does it bring a value? Does it bring a value?
Let me address this question. I think definitely it brings value, and not only in context of just request to pay, but providing a whole experience for the SME customer. I think what Adi just described, that you need really an end-to-end service to whatever segment, to micro companies, small companies, medium companies. I think this is what invoicing, request to pay, payments, information about what happens. This is what can help really the SME segment. And request to pay, yes, is a very important and integral part of it, because it's real time, it's easy. You only need your mobile phone. If we are talking about B2C or P2P payments, you don't need an actual device for it. So I think it's going to be great and will change the whole payment scene.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Catalin. Now, in the context of request to pay and invoicing, for instance, we know that for a couple of years there is the EU directive for e-invoicing imposing gradually the use of e-invoicing by corporates and small business, starting for VAT declaration and procurement with governmental and public organization. How do you see the influence of this mandate, across the various EU countries? Influence in the development of the market, and for request to pay in particular.
Sure. I can give you at least the experience just here in France, where the French government has put through a law which follows the EU directive on e-invoicing, and they've associated it with the need, also the obligatory requirement for companies to use some kind of payment status or request to pay in order to give a response to that invoice. Why do they want to do that? Because they will then monitor those invoices and monitor how much of VAT will be coming into the government at the end of the year. So this is what is driving each government in the European Union to put into place this directive. So we can definitely expect to see mandatory schemes in each country using e-invoicing and subsequently some kind of payment status like request to pay.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, thank you. Daniel, in the context of you have highlighted very well the need for seamless user experience for the customer in the online journey. Now, how about the integration of the banking services in this journey? How advanced is it right now?
Well, I think we are not just business professionals, but also consumers ourselves. So we can already know that when we are buying or requesting a service, we don't care whether, how the integration is set up, how the whole system is made out, etc., etc. We just want a simple, seamless experience. So if you can't give that, then the customer experience will be bad, and that leads to less client loyalty, and maybe your customers can even turn to someone better. For example, in Hungary, where we are located in the CE office, I could buy a book from a local bookstore or go to an online or go to any bank office here. But in terms of books, I would buy something from Amazon because it's much easier for me. I don't want to go out. I don't want to learn new methods, new systems, etc. So the customer experience game, those companies that can provide the easiest and most seamless solution are going to win. And you have to implement different solution payment options into your system, because if you are not, then you will fall back or behind your competition and competitors.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Yes, indeed. But it's good that you give the example of B2C, but what about the same experience in B2B? So if a business wants to buy a book, it maybe not going to Amazon because it needs an invoice and it needs to declare correctly the VAT to get the payback and have the price of the book correctly in the accounting system. So in this case, the business will say maybe I need a structured invoice combined with my purchase and make sure that invoice can be seamless process to my in my accounting system. And in this case, choose a different site from Amazon, unless they have already implemented invoicing that I know.
Yeah. What I can add is B2B. We are focusing on B2B in our segment. We are aimed at enterprise companies, but still we see a trend even in B2B that the consumers and our clients although they are enterprise size companies, they are starting to behave like B2C, and you have to approach them like B2C customers.
Is it because of the size of the business?
No, it's basically at the end of the day, even the CEOs and the IT managers, CIOs, everyone is just another human being. And if you got used to the convenience of Netflix, Amazon, all the mobile phone applications of the leading financial service providers, then you expect the same quality and the same seamless experience from not from, but in your B2B buying as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Daniel. Andre, a question for you now. Yes, are you with us? Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's talk a little bit about marketplace. That's indeed a very interesting topic in B2B and B2C market, and we see now marketplace all over. All over the place, popping up in the market, and the question is a little bit about how is the market growing, and where is the most demanding market segment? Because in your presentation you highlight very much the role of the bank, and saying that the bank are offering marketplace. But is it really the role or only the role of the marketplace, of the bank to offer marketplace, or are there other kind of players, that can be relevant for offering, marketplace to some specific segment?
Thank you for your question. Who needs a marketplace? I think everyone needs it. In general, marketplace allow to reduce costs and increase profits. The more participants in one place, the more benefits they get. On the marketplace, each player can solve their own problem or tasks. But marketplace development project is already complex and expensive. Therefore, industry consortium can be a good way for creating a marketplace for small business.
Yep.
I think there is no dependence on region. Many marketplaces are international. They started on the local market. Later they go international. Most of successful projects are private initiatives, but that requires external investment. The investor can be bank, maybe government, consortium, large companies, or investment funds.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Okay. Yes, indeed. Okay. My question was more in the meeting and making the link with the presentation of Daniel and his use case of Amazon, because Amazon, probably not wrong, Amazon is probably the largest marketplace in the world, because they're hosting millions of merchants all over the world, and be the catalogs of millions of merchants and small business for all kind of things. But to some specific segment, like you can say service, transport, food delivery, they are not typically in those services. So the question was more in the context of indeed, are there other segment where marketplace can make it independently from the giant and serve best SME business.
Yeah, giant marketplaces have a large audience, huge number of sellers, buyers, and goods. At the same time, global universal marketplaces have universal processes. This may not be suitable for some business segments. I already talked about an example, premium watches marketplace with service of watch authentication. So I think that niche or specialized marketplace help to find the best deal for consumer. For seller, this is an opportunity to get feedback from buyers, directly from buyers. Usually, niche marketplaces also offer additional service and community.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you for the feedback. Indeed, and how about the payment instrument and the payment tools embedded in marketplace? Does it have an influence on the value of the marketplace, and how do you address it with your technology?
One of the difference between marketplace and bank-based marketplace is a wide range of possibility for using payments instruments. Bank can offer to use credit cards, debit cards, payment from account, payment by loan, installments, factoring, and more.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Andre. Guys, do you have other questions or points that you would like to raise?
Yeah, can I just share a thought that I had today? Throughout all of these presentations, what's most important is thinking about the experience for the user. I was able to be in a presentation from the governor of the Bank of France, and he was making very strongly the point that we should focus on technology, but we should focus on what difference it makes for the user and how simple and easy it is for the user to be able to get some benefit. And that's what drives the innovation in the payments business.
Yep. Yeah, good point.
It's a little bit like in Apple, if you know the story of Apple telephones. It was the Apple telephones, the iPhone, all started because they were looking very carefully at the function, at the benefit for the user, and not focusing on the technology.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Any other question? I don't see much questions. Posted in the chat room. Olena, Katalin, unless you see any other question, I think we're going to close this panel discussion. Any last chance for a participant to post a question in the chat room?
We actually do have question, but we will need a very short A very short answer. Okay, so we have a question from Vitali. So could you share customer experience of using new payment service from Visa B2B Connect as alternative to SWIFT and SEPA? Who would like to answer?
Good question.
Good
Good
question.
question. Yes, absolutely.
Nigel Catalin, would you like to?
No, indeed. I can give a little bit kind of detail about the processing on the Visa B2B in infrastructure, which is indeed 2 parts. There's the clearing and settlement part, which is basically like an ACH, where the Visa card is used by payer and seller as an instrument. Visa B2B is used for the clearing, and the settlement is classically done, like any other card transaction process on the card of the account that has been initiated or authorized the transaction with between the seller and the buyer. What is specific and very attractive in Visa B2B is the offering of the payment gateway and a set or a library of API that make the use of this payment mechanism to business using the PAN, so the card number to instruct. But API is kind of very flexible and easy to integrate in any channel or any checkout page of the merchant on the website, making it easy, fast, and efficient in terms of integration. But the point of limitation of using this infrastructure is more on the fact that Visa B2B, the network is Visa, is Visa only solution. So making the assumption that the seller and the buyer, can be, connect or reach through the Visa B2B